Is ESPN already regretting hitching their wagon to WWE? ESPN is not happy. They dropped the WrestlePalooza review, and they say the excellent Vicaire versus Sky match saved this show from being truly average. Everything was underwhelming. These are all quotes from ESPN, by the way, on their website, so it's not just fans saying it. They also go on to say, for a card that promised to have epic moments, it fell a little short of expectations. Yes, it did. Also, I have read that, let's see, the excellent Vicaire vs. Sky match saved this show from being truly average, low expectations. I've also read that this show felt more like an episode of Monday Night Raw than a pay-per-view. Well, okay, I get that. I did watch it, and wasn't great. WWE WrestlePalooza, their latest premium live event, took place Saturday night at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. As the first PLE of the ESPN era, WrestlePalooza was presented as one of the more high-profile cards WWE has yet to put together outside of the major tentpole shows thus far in 2025. The 5-match card featured 2 championship bouts, as well as the highly anticipated return to the ring for AJ Lee. Lee, who departed in 2015, returned earlier this month and teamed with her husband CM Punk for a submission win over the heel duo and real-life couple as well of Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. This nearly 30-minute contest was highly entertaining and potentially sets up the next challenger for Lynch's Women's Intercontinental Championship. Beyond that, Cody Rhodes successfully defended his undisputed championship against Drew McIntyre in the night's main event. It was Rhodes' first title defense since defeating John Cena at SummerSlam last month. The other title match on the card saw Stephanie Vicaire defeat Io Sky to win the vacant Women's World Championship. Vicaire and Sky came into the night with arguably the highest expectations of anyone on the card, and both women delivered the best show in the best match of the show. Saturday also marked the latest stop in John Cena's retirement tour. Oh, I'm just going to go ahead and say disappointing retirement tour, as he renewed his long-time rivalry with Brock Lesnar after the latter returned in a surprise moment to cap off SummerSlam weekend. The match, which opened the show, was a demolition of the 17-time world champion at the hands of Lesnar, likely signaling a continuation of this storyline. You know, I'm really afraid that John Cena's last match in WWE is going to be a rematch against Brock Lesnar. I see that as a viable possibility. I hope it doesn't happen, but, you know. Finally, Jimmy and Jey Uso reunited to take on the Vision, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. The standard tag match had the added stipulation during the pay-per-view of LA Knight being named as the special guest referee. The Vision walked out victorious. And apparently, Jey Uso got injured. It was the chair shot. The chair shot ricocheted and gave him a concussion. So I read, if you can believe anything that you read from wrestling anymore, but if Jay is indeed out, I think Jimmy's going to go out tonight, and I think they're going to take Jimmy out tonight. I think the main event, spoiler alert, the Vision are going to open and close Raw, as they have been doing since the beginning of this whole thing, which was back at the Raw after WrestleMania. Arguably the biggest surprise of the night came before the main event when The Undertaker made an appearance. Everybody thought, okay, this is awesome, but what's going on? Well, what was going on was that The Undertaker announced that Stephanie McMahon will be the first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2026. Well deserved. She, if I attempted to name off everything Stephanie McMahon has done in WWE for the last 4 decades, I don't know if I could do it. Yeah, WrestlePalooza. Cody Rhodes successfully defending the WWE Championship. The big moment there was Cody evading the Claymore on the side of the announce table. AJ Lee and CM Punk defeating Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins by submission in a pretty good 30-minute match. Most entertaining of the night. Stephanie McCurry defeated Io Sky in under 20 minutes to win the vacant Women's Championship. The Vision defeated the Usos. You know, it's funny. I'm reading these results off of the Yahoo Sports thing, and they're giving these matches pretty decent grades, like A, B, and C. The Brock Lesnar John Cena match got a C+. But I read that ESPN says that they weren't happy with the show. So I guess Yahoo and ESPN have different views. What did I think of the show? Poor to decent to mediocre. Decent, maybe. Now, on the other hand, was AEW All Out, which was, if you listen to the AEWites out there, the greatest show in the world, probably. They think every AEW show is the greatest show in the world, kind of like my friend Chris did. But anyway, the results of that. Yeah, it's funny. I'm looking for the results of that, and okay, here we go. Hangman retained his title over Kyle Fletcher, which definitely is what should have happened. Kyle Fletcher. I'm probably going to ruffle some feathers in saying that Kyle Fletcher should be nowhere near the AEW Men's World Championship, as they're calling it now. Statlander won the AEW Women's World Championship, which surprised me, honestly. And of course, now since Toni Storm lost the title, I'm sure there's going to be like, oh, is Toni Storm going back to WWE? No, she's pretty much burned her bridges with WWE in interviews, I think, or maybe not. I don't know. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to stuff like that. Chris Statlander wins the AEW Women's World Championship, but it won't be long before Mercedes Moné is double champion, because Toni has got this weird thing for that woman. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Darby Allin burned Jon Moxley. Honestly didn't see Jon Moxley losing coming. Tailgate brawl they had before the show. Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs of the Ops defeated the Workhorsemen in a what the heck is this match happening situation, because come on. Daniel Garcia defeated Shibata to kick off his heel run. Hologram and Paragon, which are Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, defeated the Frat House of Preston Vance, Griff Garrison, and Cole Carter. Willow Nightingale, Queen Amanada, Harley Cameron, and interim ROH Women's TV Champion Mina Shirakawa defeated Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Megan Bain, and Penelope Ford. Cope and Cage defeated FTR. Eddie Kingston made his return and defeated Big Bill. The Tables and Tax match. Mark Briscoe defeated MJF. That was a surprise. What's AEW doing with Caster and Bowens? Who in God's name knows? I think they're eventually going to reteam the Acclaimed and turn them heel again. Because let's be honest, the whole best wrestler alive thing with Bowens and the open challenge of Caster is falling so flat. Ricochet, Tongaloa is the MFTs, and Bishop Khan defeated the Hurt Syndicate. Wow. TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné defeated Riho. I am shocked. No. I am not shocked. That was big sarcasm. What I am shocked of is that she's not the AEW Women's World Champion now. AEW Unified Championship, Kazuchika Okada retained against Takeshita and Dorado. Jon Moxley defeated Darby Allin in a coffin match. Shocker. Jon Moxley wins another match. Don't say that. Shocker. Chris Statlander is the new AEW Women's World Champion. Bandito have retained the AEW Tag Team Championship. Jon Moxley defeated TNT champion Kyle Fletcher to successfully retain the AEW Championship. Now, for the race, stage 1 of the Mobile One 301 was won by Ryan Blaney. Joey Logano won the second stage. Ryan Blaney came back and won the third stage, winning for the first time at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Logano led 147 laps. Blaney led 116 laps. And now for the playoff standings. Let me look in my photos here. Here they are. Ryan Blaney leads the standings with 1 win. William Byron is in second, 47 points behind. And plus 41. In third is Kyle Larson. In fourth is Christopher Bell. Fifth is Denny Hamlin. Sixth is Joey Logano. Seventh is Chase Elliott. And eighth is Chase Briscoe. And the only one right now to advance to the round of 8 is Ryan Blaney because of his victory. The bottom 4 who are in danger of being eliminated after this first race. Ross Chastain in 9th, who is minus 12. Austin Cindric in 10th, who is minus 19. Tyler Reddick in 11th, minus 23. And in 12th, who honestly I'm surprised was not in the first round of cuts, but spoiler alert, will be in the second round of cuts. Bubba Wallace in 12th, down 27. Now, tonight sees the return of The Voice with coaches Reba, Niall Horan, Snoop Dogg, and Michael Bublé on NBC at 7 o'clock. The Tennessee Titans did what they do best yesterday, lost. They lost week 1 to the Broncos, 20-12. They lost week 2 to the Rams, 33-19. And they lost yesterday to the Colts, 41-20. So they carry a sterling record of 0-3, a pristine record of 0-3. Into week 4 next Sunday when they face the Houston Texans at Houston. So they're looking down the barrel of 0-5. And they're also looking down the barrel of, for the second year in a row, having the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. That's going to be great. They'll screw that up like they screwed up everything else. And as far as the Kentucky Wildcats football goes, they won their first game against Toledo, lost their second against Ole Miss, won their third against Eastern Michigan. This past weekend was a bye week, so they take a 2-1 record into South Carolina this Saturday, September 27th, in Columbia on SEC Network. Hopefully a victory, but South Carolina is always tough. And as far as WKU goes, Western Kentucky, Saturday night at 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus will face Missouri State. Western Western faced, let's see who they, Nevada, Saturday night, and won 31-16. It was on ESPN Plus as well, so I can watch that. My idea was to watch WrestlePalooza on the iPad and WKU on the big TV, but I didn't think about both of them being on the same app, so couldn't do that. I just got an email from KSR that the SEC annual football opponents for the next 4 seasons have been announced. Will be announced, actually. So, SEC will announce the football opponents for every league school for the next 4 years on Tuesday in an hour-long television special at 7 p.m. Eastern on SEC Network and ESPN2. In the new 9-team league schedule, each school will have 3 annual opponents that will be reevaluated every 4 years and 6 rotational opponents, meaning each school will play every other SEC school at least once every 2 years, and every opponent home and away in a 4-year span. The 3 annual opponents for each school, sources told On 3, are as follows. Alabama's are Auburn, Tennessee, Mississippi State. Arkansas's are Missouri, Texas, LSU. Auburn's are Georgia, Alabama, Vanderbilt. Florida's are Kentucky, South Carolina, or Georgia, South Carolina, and Kentucky. Georgia are Auburn, Florida, and South Carolina. Kentucky is South Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida. LSU is Arkansas, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. Mississippi State, their 3 are Ole Miss, Alabama, and Vanderbilt. Missouri's 3 are Arkansas, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma. Oklahoma's 3 are Texas, Ole Miss, and Missouri. Ole Miss's 3 are Mississippi State, LSU, and Oklahoma. South Carolina's 3 are Georgia, Kentucky, and Florida. Tennessee's 3 are Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. Texas's 3 are Texas A&M, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. Texas A&M's 3 are Texas, LSU, and Missouri. And Vanderbilt's 3 are Tennessee, Mississippi State, and Auburn. The priorities in creating the schedules were protecting traditional rivalries, competitive fairness, rational frequency, rotational frequency, and ensuring a home and away balance. With a Power 4 non-conference opponent for the 2026 season. For example, Tennessee Athletic Director Danny White said Saturday that the Vols will be one of the teams to get 5 SEC home games in 2026. Tennessee plays a non-conference game on the road next year at Georgia Tech. The television show on Tuesday will provide matchups and sites for schools' SEC games over the next 4 years. The dates of games for the 2026 season will be announced in December. SEC announced in August that it would begin playing a 9-game league schedule starting in 2026 after playing 8 league games each year since 1992. Adding a 9th game and using the rotational model will allow for some matchups that haven't been played with any regularity in the regular season. Among them, Alabama versus Georgia, Auburn versus Florida, Auburn versus Tennessee, LSU versus Tennessee, and Georgia versus Texas A&M. In fact, Georgia has yet to face Texas A&M in College Station since the Aggies joined the SEC in 2012. that is all I have for that. I will, let's see, I'll see if can give you the late night schedule. Oh, I have buried the lead. Last week, ABC decided to suspend Jimmy Kimmel after pressure from the FCC. The pressure, of course, came from, Donald Trump doesn't like him, so let's suspend him. But anyway, we're not going to get too much into politics there. That's all I'm going to say about that. As far as guests on Fallon are concerned, now, Kelly Clarkson does not return until a few more weeks. So nothing on that front. Although I think some people are getting replays of her Songs and Stories episodes, which, if you haven't seen those, they're pretty good. I know that's a ringing endorsement, but there were only 4 of them. So let's see, it was Jonas Brothers, Gloria Estefan, Teddy Swims, which the amount of people who probably know who Teddy Swims is, I didn't know him. And it was my least favorite episode. And the fact that it was the last one, not exactly a fan of it. So tonight, Scarlett Johansson is going to be on Stephen Colbert. Jimmy Kimmel says he's new. The guy says he's new, but I don't know. I don't watch him, so I don't. Sean Penn, Zachary Quinto going to be on Jimmy Fallon tonight. Performance from Lang Lang. No idea who that is. Jake Tapper on Seth Meyers. I'll be honest with you, I am at least a week behind on The Tonight Show. I haven't seen Reese Witherspoon's appearance on The Tonight Show, and that's been 2 Wednesday nights ago, I think. Okay, so Kelly and Mark, Jane Krakowski tomorrow. Shannon Doherty makes fall crafts. Not that Shannon Doherty. Not the actress Shannon Doherty, because, she sadly passed on a few years ago. It's really unfortunate that somebody else has that same name, but anyway, things happen. Okay, and Dancing with the Stars on Tuesday night on ABC. We're still on the repeats for all the TV shows. Jimmy Fallon's got Leonardo DiCaprio tomorrow night. Wednesday night, Jimmy has Mark Wahlberg, Kim Kardashian, in a performance by Lola Young. I do not know who Lola Young is, because unlike her last name, I am not young. Thursday night, they're not telling us who is on the Tonight Show. I will say this, Thursday at 8, there was a Barbara Walters special on Hulu called Barbara Walters Tell Me Everything. It's going to be on ABC Thursday night at 8 o'clock. This Thursday at 8, if anybody wants to check that out. And of course, the Friday night shows are the Friday night late night shows are repeats. And Saturday Night Live has yet to return. Oh, look at that. Arkansas is going to be on ABC Saturday morning. Notre Dame at Arkansas in football. Alabama at Georgia is the ABC Saturday night football game. And Saturday Night Live is not back yet. So there is your weekly TV. Entertainment wise, and that's going to be it for me. I've been your host, Andy Sullivan. This has been my Blendertainment vlog for Monday, September 22nd. Cannot believe that September is almost gone. So I guess somebody better wake up Billy Joe Armstrong, huh? Because, Green Day had that song, Wake Me Up When September Ends. Okay, yeah. Never know how jokes go over when you're recording something for the internet, because, So that's all I got for this week. I'll be back next week. I've been Andy Sullivan. Stay calm, be cool, be courageous, and I'll catch you in about 7. Peace out.